As we get older, friendships start to look a little different. Not because we love people less, but because we're learning how to protect our peace and still show up for the ones who matter. In this week's episode, we are continuing the conversation around friendships, specifically with what I talked about 2 weeks ago, how to compartmentalize your friendships in a way where you can still show up as your best self. Specifically, we are going to go over the types of friends and friendships, how friendships shift, how to manage different relationships with love, and how to communicate through it all. So let's hop into this episode. Girl,
Stop talking. All the shit that people are thinking but not saying. I'm not even drunk. I've just been drinking. Hey bitches, are you ready? Are you still talking? Girl, stop talking.
happy fucking Monday, bitches. Oh my God, I feel like I need to give you guys a little life update before we get into the topic of this episode. And right now, as you guys are watching this, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen the chaos, okay? I am currently on the EDC cruise as this episode drops. And it really fully hasn't even hit me yet, but we do EDC, the regular festival in Vegas, every year for the last 4 years. We have gone. It is something that both my man and I love to do. We just, share a spiritual connection over electronic dance music. And I don't know what else to say. It's just, we love dancing. We love listening to music. I love a theme. Okay. I do be loving a theme. And any chance to dress up, that's why a big reason why I even fell in love with the rave community with the also loving the music. But when I first started raving, I was into hardstyle, which is kind of crazy. You do a whole episode on the journey through the EDM music world. But yeah, I think it was Hardwell was one of my favorites, and DJ Italian Sensation. Oh, throwback. If you know, you know. But anyways, so right now I am currently prepping for EDC. As you guys are listening, I'm already there. Probably have been there for, I think that's technically my third day. I cannot wait. So let me just give you a little down low, okay? This is EDC, SEA, little play on words there. And that's basically like the festival in Vegas on a cruise ship. 21 plus, all ravers, 5 days, ports from Miami to Belize, where we get dropped off on a private island where for how many hours? Probably 15 hours. I think it's 3 p.m. to 8 a.m. And they have 3 stages on the island. They have all these different activities on the island. And it's basically a show where they do sunset to sunrise, similar to EDC. And we've been to Belize, so it's really cool that we get to go back. This is obviously a different spot, but the water, crystal clear, gorgeous. And I took my man on his first cruise already, so we have an idea of what to expect, but it's going to be full-blown chaos, and I fully expect to do better than my birthday. I really want to do some content when we're there with the ravers and get enough content to create a fun vlog. I was going to say blog, but I'm really excited for that. There's 9 themes. 9, okay? I don't think I'm going to do them all. A girl could dream, but I did order stuff very last minute, and right now currently I'm prepping, trying to get packed, and trying to do all my little goodies and gifts, which I'm sure you've seen by now. So there's that I've been in preparation for. It is the last banger of my birthday. We are almost done celebrating. This was my man's present to me for my birthday, basically. And it's just a new experience that we get to do together. So I am so pumped. Beware of the content and check back in for the vlog because I will be dropping it on my YouTube. That is the intention, okay? I cannot blow myself out of the water. I will not blow myself out of the water. I cannot imagine being hungover for 5 days and then dying when I get back. So everybody say a prayer. Send a sweet, sweet, sweet energy for me, okay? And oh my God, okay. Another thing that's been going on, I've been getting my shower remodeled, and I have to tell you, I don't know what it is about the contractor sending hot men to my house, but we're really going to need to stop, okay? I am a taken woman, but just because I'm on a diet doesn't mean I can't look at the menu. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm just like, okay, why could none of this happen when I was single? Like, I am a wholesome lady, okay? I love my man. I'm in a faithful relationship. And this contractor guy is sending hot guys to my house like the start of a fucking porno. Are you kidding? I'm like, this guy, I gotta tell you, between me and you, okay? The guy's coming to like fix the pipes. You wanna fix my pipes? No, I'm just kidding. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so hard not to lean in because of the scenario at hand. This guy comes, he's putting the faucets on the shower. I open the door and he's like so cute. Like, not my typical guy. Look at me talking as if I'm single. Whatever. Okay, you guys get it. Listen, like this, I feel like it quite literally is the start to a porno. Okay, this guy, it's always, can we talk about how awkward it is when people come to your house and they're supposed to come in and do something? And like, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I'm such a pretty girl. Like, they must be so happy to see me. But I'm like, why is this uncomfortable? Like, why do I feel so awkward? And I like to think that I keep things pretty casual. Oh, hi, I'm Tatum. Yeah, you're here for blah, blah. Okay, come in. I open the door. Nice, fit guy, like seems pretty like my age, blonde hair, kind of like auburn beard, beautiful smile. He's quite literally wearing overalls, okay, with paint on them. And I'm like, oh, hi. He's like, hi, I'm here to like put in these things. I'm like, oh yeah, awesome. Come in. Open the door. And then I'm like, wow, cute overalls. You're like rocking those things. What is wrong with me? Listen, I'm not just a girl's girl. I'm a girl's guy. You know what I mean? I'm so big. I give a compliment where a compliment is due. Okay. It's just the person that I am. And it was not me trying to flirt whatsoever. I was just like, oh my God, look at you rocking those overalls. Okay, cute. And then he like comes in and then the smiles start to linger. Very professional. Didn't make it weird. Didn't make it awkward. Didn't make a move, whatever. But like I could, you know when a guy's like interested, but he's working. So he's, sees this single girl in a house. Like he doesn't want to lose a job. He doesn't want to make someone feel uncomfortable. I caught those vibes. Doing his thing, whatever, about to leave. And it was so funny because one of my clients were here and I was talking to my client about this. And I was like, oh yeah? I'm like, are you gonna get your white cock? Are you gonna cock my bathroom with your white hard cock? I'm like whispering to my client doing her lashes while he's in my bathroom. And I'm like, starts out soft and then it gets hard. And we were like cracking up. I would never say that to his face. Oh my God, I cannot. There's nothing that I could say to make this even more uncomfortable for everyone. So then, he like, oh, are you so excited to get a new shower? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've had people in and out of here for days and I'm just like ready for it to be over. And I'm like walking him out and he's like, oh, is there anything else you need from me? And I'm just sitting here thinking like, no, I don't. Have a great day. And then in my head, I'm like, why would none of this happen when I was single? None of this. I wouldn't say hot, but an attractive, respectful man just quite literally walking into your life like a handyman. I mean, it is the Lord testing me. That's like quite literally how I feel. And listen, I am an A+ girly. I pass with flying colors, okay? But I'm like telling my client and thinking to myself, like, I'm pretty sure this is the start to a porno. This is crazy. Like, If I was single, oh, I fully would have hit on him. No doubt in my mind. No fucking doubt. Just to see, what's up. And the same thing happened with another guy that came in to fix something. And I'm like, never have I been like, wow, a mullet is attractive. But I'm like, wow, he is cute. And I'm like, why is this so awkward? What do I do? What do I do with my hands? Where do I go? Like, I needed to get ready. I'm like, do I sit in front of my vanity? I have to put a shirt on. I can't just wear like a bra top. Because like, it's also a very invasive space. Like, I'm a girl. Listen, I'm a gun owner, but I am a girl. You're in my home. You're just man. Like, quite literally anything could happen. Obviously, these people are on jobs, and I don't watch that much true crime to like be that genuinely afraid. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, whoa, kind of crazy that like anything could literally happen. I mean, would you like to come back and fix my pipes? No, I'm just kidding. It needs to stop, okay? Will you send back the bald man with the missing tooth and the cargo khakis? Because I can't have any more cute Gilbert handyman knowing where I live, okay? The only cute handyman that I need is my man. That's all. Let's get into the episode. In our last episode together, we talked about expectations, friendships, and drama, specifically speaking from the things that I struggle with and have struggled with in my past friendships. And I wanted to expand on that. I talked about compartmentalizing. We had a couple listener write-ins say that they're struggling with feeling needy in friendships or struggling where they feel needed. And I thought it would be really fun to take a little twist on how we can compartmentalize these friendships, what that looks like, and just deepen the conversation, because it's not something that people often talk about. And the older we get, the harder it is to make friends. And as you guys know, if you listen to that episode, if you haven't already, go back and listen to that one first. As you know, I am an expectation holder. This is, call it a red flag, call it a downfall. It is who I am to my core. I have worked on this tremendously in the relationships that I have had in my life. And the biggest thing that has helped me is compartmentalizing certain friendships and understanding that not each friend is going to be able to show up for you in the way that you would show up for them or the way that you would want them to show up for you. And that's okay, because we're all adults. We have our own lives. We have our own drama. We have our own like situations that we're in, partners, kids, friends, social. There's all of these take a piece and another piece away from the people that we love. However, if you have friends and you consider people your best friends, you still have to show up for them in the way that you know that you would show up for them as well. You still have to show up for them. Pause. Because we are all people, and if you are going to label someone as your friend, you have to be a friend. Otherwise, you're going to get demoted to acquaintance. You're going to feel like people are pulling back, not reaching out to you as much. And unfortunately, those things do come from what we expect from our friendships. This is exciting to me because it's fun, it's creative, but then it's also coming from like a loving place of how we can all take something away from learning more about the people that we love, understanding them more, and realizing that not one in particular person has to fill the full fucking cup. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like, I wanted to start with compartmentalization, okay? For me, compartmentalizing friendships actually means not being fake, but recognizing different connections serve different purposes. Like, for example, the friend you call for a night out versus the gym buddy. Okay? We all have that friend that's super in her fitness era. She's not even drinking, and she's probably not going to be the one to call for a night out. No, that's going to be your party friend who loves to have a random drink on a Tuesday. Or the one you call at 2 a.m. crying and your creative brainstorming friend. you know? Like there are positives to this compartmentalizing of the friendships, and therefore you don't create these added expectations in each one of your friends because, like we said, expectations create drama. They create a sense of, not feeling like getting upset with those people if you're holding them to a standard and they're not meeting it, which is going to drive a wedge in any relationship that you have. So I want to talk about how not every friend checks every box. And going into that motion, I have come up with actual categories of compartmentalization for you guys. So let's go over them. First off, we have the therapist friend. She's everyone's emotional support hotline, always ready with deep advice, the you deserve better energy, but low key hasn't processed her last breakup. It's that friend that like gives great advice but doesn't take the advice that's given to her. Why am I pointing at myself? No. We also have you'll typically find the therapist friends and people that like give services to people like lash artists, hairstylists, massage therapists, maybe even bartenders. And I think sometimes people can fall into multiple categories of these friendships, but stay with me. And then we have the party friend, okay? If this friend is coming, the night is already unhinged. They say, don't worry, it'll be a chill night. We'll only have one drink. And then you get there, they order 3 martinis for the table and a round of shots for everyone. And they're quite literally the reason why you wake up with glitter in your hair. This is the friend that is out drinking on a night out, is always down and shows up for the party, probably has wild, insane stories and starts the conversation with, oh my God, I have to tell you what happened last night. We all know that. We know who the party friend is. I bet you had like 3 people pop in your head right now. And then we have the planner, the spreadsheet queen. She's so busy that anytime you try to make plans with her, you have to schedule 3.5 weeks out in advance. You have to make sure it gets put on the calendar before you leave the last meetup. Otherwise, you're going to be micromanaging both of your guys' calendars just to squeeze in some time together. She also books brunch 3 weeks out, color codes group trips, has planned themes event, packs so much into her schedule that she might even show up late to some things because God forbid if it goes wrong and she's pushed back, someone's going to hear it and you're going to hear about her whole day and how she was completely thrown off. Without her, chaos, okay? She's the one that is coordinating the group chats. She's also leading the pack of people, probably organizing functions, throwing parties at her house, etc. Are you feeling triggered? Am I feeling triggered? No. Honestly, I fit into a lot of these categories, but some more than others. And then we have the ghost texter, okay? She loves you dearly and she will show up when it is important, but she just won't respond for 7 to 10 business days. Randomly pops back in with a I miss you text as if she didn't vanish mid-conversation. She's going to show up for you because she always shows up for the things that are important, but you can't necessarily reach her when needed. You know what I mean? You know who I'm talking about. Next, we have the drama magnet. This friend lives in current chaos. Their honest take on life is a triggered trauma response. And somehow every story turns into a season finale you didn't really ask for. You don't even get mad anymore because you don't have it in you to give advice. You just sit back, relax, and grab the popcorn. They're quite literally living in a constant state of chaos, like almost like they like it, almost like things are always happening to them. It's never, what have I done to put myself in this situation? We all have that one friend that isn't just dramatic on purpose, but they're quite literally living in the drama. They are the drama, you know? And lastly, the mom friend, okay? She carries snacks, chargers, gum. She probably has bobby pins and an extra chapstick in her purse. She's the one who makes sure everyone is safe, doing okay, has drank water. She quite literally probably has children that she's wrangling around. It may take 24 hours to hear back from her, but she's always going to follow up with the text and like, remember your birthday, remember the last, event that you had met up and the plans. Follow up with, engaging questions about the last date you went on to really feel like she's involved in your life, even though you're on the phone with her and every 4 seconds she's like, Timmy, will you stop talking? Leave me alone. Okay, anyways, so like tell me again about your problems. We know, the mom friend. They don't always show up to every event because they don't have a sitter. They're fighting with their baby's dad. They're coming to you with the tea and the drama of their life outside of their relationship. They're talking shit about their kids. They probably fit into more than one category, but they feel like they have a valid excuse to not show up because I'm a mom. And I want you to sit back and think, are you feeling triggered? Did any of these feel like I was speaking into your soul? Can you sit back and think of your friend group and be like, oh, which one are you? Which one are they? How do we align into these different groups of friendships? And how do we come together to be able to still have genuine, communicative, loving gossip sessions with each other without feeling judged, feeling abandoned, feeling like you're not getting enough out of each friend? And where do you pick the things that you need from each friend versus with what's going on in your life? I'm going to tell you, girl. So how do we show up and be better friends? Communication is literally the glue. It all comes down to being able to communicate. First of all, are you holding yourself accountable for the way you react or act in certain situations? If you're triggered, how you respond, if there's an weirdness between you and a friend, we all know. So what are you going to do about it? What do you do about it? Do you just brush it under the rug and keep things moving? Avoid it, don't talk about it, try to continue forth with the friendship? Do you make a comment about it? Do you send a text message? Do you try to deepen the relationship for deeper, vulnerable value communication? Because I'm telling you right now, the difference from having core friends and surface level friends quite literally are being self-aware, holding space and being empathetic, and knowing that it's not about being right or wrong. Can you have a vulnerable conversation? You should just start by answering that question right away. Are your friendships surface level friendships because you are too afraid to open up and be vulnerable? And or do you even know how? Do you take accountability for your actions and your triggers on how you respond to things? Because if the answer is no, then I would assume that the relationships and friendships that you have in your life are very surface level friendships. You can't force someone to talk to you, okay? I have struggled with this. I value communication. I'm sure you guys could understand that. And especially when it comes to friends, because for so long, it would give me so much anxiety if I knew that there was weirdness between a friend and I, if there was some uncomfortable situation that didn't get talked about. And it's just not something I can do. I'm not the type of person to brush it under the rug. I want to talk about it the moment it happens, because otherwise I'm going to spiral and be thinking of all these other scenarios for the next however many days. But I have come to learn that you cannot force people to have conversations, especially conversations that could be conflicting or uncomfortable or present conflict face to face. And I think this has to do a lot with the emotional maturity that you have and understanding that if you and your friend if there is conflict or there's weirdness or a disagreement, like, it's not about being right and wrong, okay? It's about trying to quite literally understand the person's perspective and why they're upset, or vice versa. Maybe you're both upset at each other. I've had so many not so many issues. I've had so many issues. I've had so many times where there's a scenario that happens and there's two different perspectives. And when you open up a safe space to communicate and be like, the reason why we are here, the reason why we are talking about this is because we are fighting for our friendship. Like, there's me, there's you, there's our friendship. And it's what happens when you don't have these vulnerable conversations is they start to create resentment. Your perspective shifts, your mindset changes. You start seeing things about this person that hit you differently, even if that's not what's really going on. And I have dealt with a handful of situations like that. Now, I think it's good to say, because we're not able to force these conversations with people. Like, you have to go about this in a way where you're going to show up for them in the best way that you can. That's not going to overextend yourself. And I think it's fine to match someone's energy. Now, I know people say this a lot in like a very passive aggressive way. Like, oh, well, they haven't texted me back for 5 days, or it takes 2 weeks to hear from them, or they bail on all of the plans. They're like, I'm just going to match their energy. No, girl, we're not leading with passive aggressive behavior. Okay. But you can see what someone is doing, take a mental note, and just be like, okay, move accordingly moving forward. Maybe that friend that's always bailing on plans, maybe you stop inviting her to plans. Or, and then if they come back to you being like, oh, well, I just feel like you don't invite me to things anymore, then you can take that chance as a conversation to be like, hey, I feel like I try to always include you in things. The last couple of times that I've invited you to said things, you never end up making it. Like, can you tell me a little more about that? Is there something that made you uncomfortable? Is there something that I did that made you uncomfortable? It's like taking these things lightly without like blaming the person. But I will tell you, someone that's not holding themselves accountable in any type of relationship, they're not going to see the way they're moving. They're just going to see the way you are moving and how you've changed. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. And this can go for anything too. Like, I had a friend and I noticed this friend was like pulling away, and it wasn't uncommon that there would be distance between this friend and I. Like I said, we're both adults, we're busy, we have lots of things going on in our lives, and I don't hold that against anyone. So I had released those expectations, but we were hanging out a lot, and then it just kind of seemed like out of nowhere there was like distance. And then there were a couple of from my perspective, like excuses when it came to like hanging out. Oh, I can't do this, or no, this isn't going to work, and whatever. That's fine too. And it got to the point where I got concerned, like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? Is there something that we haven't talked about? Is there something not even about me? I didn't even think it was about me. I just thought like maybe something is going on in this person's life that's like, that they quite literally don't have it in them to be able to, be a part of a closer friendship or even just hanging out more. And I think the big thing for me is like, it's so easy to tell when someone doesn't want to be your friend. Okay. And this is kind of like what I had come to the conclusion of. You can be going through something and still be honest about it. Okay. Like, if there is something that is truly going on with your life, you're busy, like, I think it's okay to be like, look, I love you, I miss you, XYZ is happening, I just don't even have like the mental space to deal, is whatever. Like, I'm trying to figure all this out. Thanks for checking on me. Like, this has nothing to do with like our friendship or nothing. But it's when things start to get misconstrued or projected like back onto the other person, where I had a situation where this is like very similar. Is I had reached out to the friend, and look at me trying to be like, I'm not talking about anyone. I tried to reach out to this friend and just be like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Like, miss you. I wish we were closer. Like, if there's anything that I can do, like, even if it were just to come over and hang out and, I know you're busy and you have stuff going on. Like, I'd just love to see you or, and it was fed with everything back. Well, I don't like talking on the phone. Well, I don't like texting. And it's like, okay. And then the final straw that like really made me sit here and think, damn, like I just think this person doesn't want to be my friend and they just don't want to tell me is like the projection. I sent a message basically saying what I just said about how I wish we'd spend more time together and I miss you and I just wanted to check in, make sure everything was okay. And I was fed back with, I'm fine with everything, with having space between friendships. I'm not sure where this leaves us. If you don't want to be my friend, I understand. And that's like, to me was shocking. It was actually quite literally the opposite of what I was trying to do. And that's like at the point where you have to like look at people's actions, right? And space is fine. We're all adults, like I said. And there are place and times if you're going through things and still just communicating that. But again, like I started this whole conversation, you cannot force people to be a part of your life. You cannot force people to be open with you and be honest. And for me, that is the hardest thing because you guys know I'm a fucking open book. And especially when it comes to my friendships, because I value my friendships so much, and that was shocking to me. I had to step back and I was like, that is literally the opposite of what I'm trying to do. And I just really had to think and be like, okay, I can't force this person to be in my life. They're clearly don't want to be a part of it, and that definitely hurts. But I feel really proud because I think I would be even more hurt if I had these expectations with this friendship and I didn't. And so, I think I can save space to just be like, maybe it's just the end of an era and maybe that's okay. And it's not on bad terms. There wasn't a crazy fallout by any means. But, my wish for strong, valued connections outweighs like my giving to try to force someone to be in my life. Like I am so done forcing people to stay and people are going to show up the way they want to show up for you. Like plain and simple. Okay, I wanted to go over some tips for if you are going through something and your friends are reaching out to you, but you quite literally don't have the mental capacity or the space to talk about it, answer the phone, or barely even text back. And maybe that's the case. Not something I understand, but I did write down some tips, so I want to share them with you. Ways to still show up that are small and meaningful that show your friend, I want to be in this friendship. I value you. I value your friendship. You can send a text saying thinking of you. Okay, that counts. A text takes 2 seconds. I don't want to hear that I don't like to text. Nope, that's bullshit. Sorry, you can't use that excuse. You can send a voice note like essay style once a week when you have something going on. You could literally just, hey girl, like checking in with you. I can't tell you how many of my friends do this. Checking in, oh my God, I'm going through this shit, but you know what? I don't even have the capacity to talk about it right now. I just need to decompress. I'm going to take 24 hours. I'll text you tomorrow. Boom, done. People feel valued. They feel like you've checked in. They're not wondering if something's happened to you or you're checked in with the grippy stocks. You know what I mean? Schedule check-ins, okay? This is crazy. Like there was some viral stuff where people had these group chats where, I forget what they called it. It was like Wally Wednesdays or something like that. I can't remember. But they had like this little group chat where, throughout the week, they just post little messages through each other and then they go and watch it all on one day. One day a week where you're just popping in, checking in. Even if, you know what I do all the time? If someone comes into my head, I take that as like an intuitive thought to be like, I need to reach out to that person. I quite literally don't care if it's someone I talk to every day, one of my best friends, or someone from high school that I had a dream about and it was like this random thing. Like if I feel like there is a bigger message or even just like a weird like intuitive moment, I'm like, hey girl, thinking about you, not sure what's going on, just wanted to touch base, blah, blah, blah. Again, 2 seconds. Okay. Or you can even say, be honest. Hey, I'm going through it. I love you and I want to be here for you. I just don't have the mental capacity to take on anybody else's drama but my own. Now, I want to go over some great non-threatening like tips that you, if you're having some weirdness with a friend and you want to talk about, that you can say to kind of guide and start the conversation. First of all, we are not texting these, okay? Well, just kidding. I want to roll that back. When you want to start the conversation, it can be a message, but if you're going to talk about a situation that hurt your feelings, there is no texting. Okay, we're not text arguing. It can be so misconstrued. Like, if there's any weirdness or conflicting tone in a message, the first thing I do is call someone. They typically don't answer, right? Because they're heated. They're like ready to fucking keyboard warrior on the phone. And I think if there's weirdness and you haven't talked with a friend for a little while, you can use these to like kind of guide that conversation. If they reach out to you and you really just need to process things, I love you. I need some space right now. Can we put something on the calendar to talk for a later date? Not too late. Like, I would give it, depending on the severity of the situation, I would give it 24 hours to like 24 to 72 hours. Okay. Another one, if you say you're going to be somewhere, you end up bailing and it's happened a couple times, your friend is upset, a great way to start that conversation. We take full accountability. We use I statements. I'm sorry I didn't show up the way I wanted to. And we further explain. Okay? Again, I say this, gonna fucking drill this into everybody's head. I swear to God, you're probably gonna say it with me. Using I statements takes the defense off the other person. It's self-aware. It's you taking responsibility for your actions. I'm sorry I didn't show up for you. I didn't show up the way I wanted to either. And XYZ. And lastly, simple, can we talk about what's changed between us? Like, I really want to, even if we don't even have to do it face to face, can we like have a phone call? I just feel like this weirdness and, and I love you and I just don't want it to be weird anymore. So easy. Literally so easy. Having this deeper, more vulnerable conversation is quite literally going to prevent you from creating resentment, comparison, and even ghosting people, brushing things under the rug so that you don't have to deal with it. All of those things are negativity that will seep into that relationship, like we talked about earlier, will change your perspective on how that person is showing up for you. You get more offended. Communication is a power move. Like, being able to talk through things in a non-confronting way, because it's not. You're not like, yeah, you're pissed off, but let's really look at the situation. Why? In most scenarios in a friendship, when there's conflict, you're upset because you feel like you've been mistreated. You feel like you're not being heard. You feel like maybe it's the resentment. You've been hurt so many times and you haven't talked about it. Those are all you things, okay? Which is quite literally because you just want the person to show up for you in a different way. Like, and I've done a lot of time thinking about this because I've had some of these like friendship experiences and I'm like, I sit back and I'm like, why am I so upset really? Okay, well, my feelings are hurt. Why are my feelings hurt? Because they did XYZ. Okay, they did XYZ, but my feelings are hurt. And then I ask myself, why again? Why? Well, because I love this person and I miss them and I value deeper connection and I want to be around them more and I have so much fun with them and none of those things are happening. So when you really get down to the bottom of it, you're just fighting for a deeper connection. You're fighting for your friend to show up for you the way that you're showing up for them. And none of those are bad things. So it doesn't have to be confrontation. It doesn't have to be conflict, because it's not just black and white. Again, like with relationships, you, the person, the relationship. And I think if both people can look at it from this perspective where it's like, hey, I don't want to argue. I really just want to try to understand where you're coming from. And I want to allow space for you to understand where I'm coming from. And you just chat it out. Like, I'm sure I've said this, but I'll say it again. Me and one of my dearest, closest, longest besties, we went through a period of our friendship where we didn't speak for like 2 years. And there was like a lot that needed to happen and unpack. And we did, after the 2 years, like we needed space, and we needed to grow, and we needed to learn. And there was a 180 moment where we were able to sit down and actually talk and actually listen. And both of us valued that conversation and the friendship so much more than like the blow up event that actually happened. And in that moment, we were both fighting for like the friendship that we knew, that we loved, that we grew up. And, and it's like it's one that I will forever cherish, because we continue to show up in the same way to this day. Like, we all have bad fucking days. We all have things that we see differently. We get triggered in different ways. And so like more things are going to come up. Some person may even just be going through it and be like, I feel like the energy is off. Like, hey, is everything okay? And that's quite literally what we do. Where if we feel like something's off, it's just like, hey girl, is everything okay? I feel like things have been kind of weird. Like, do we need to have a little chatty chat? Like, what's going on? And we've just been able to like move through conversations that used to be uncomfortable in a new and improved way. And it has quite literally deepened our relationship to a whole other level. And those are the friendships that I want. Those are the friendships that I want to keep close to me, are the ones that I know are going to show up in the same way emotionally that would show up for me. Adult friendships aren't about having a million people around you. It's about having the right ones in the right way, different roles, different energies, the same love. So I want to encourage you guys to reflect on this episode and think about some of these things, okay? Which friendships fill your cup? Which ones drain it? How can you start showing up intentionally for both yourself and others? And lastly, before we go, I would love to hear which friend you think you are in the Spotify or YouTube comments. So go back if you have to and listen to the different categories and drop a comment on which friend that you think you are underneath the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun curating it and sharing and talking, and I'm glad I got to speak on a deeper note and still have fun and be silly. Next week, oh my God, next week we have an even better episode, okay? We have Nikki on from The Baddest Bitch in the Building, and we are quite literally talking about how she turned the 48 laws of power and 180'd them for women to use to fight the patriarchy, okay? We talk about if you're dating and wanting to have fun, how you can use some of these laws, girly laws of power. If you are dating and looking for a serious relationship, and for everyone in a couple, how you can implement these in your relationship to basically like get what you want without being manipulative. It's such a great episode. I'm so excited to have her on. First guest in over a year. Are you kidding? So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed. Please tell a friend, or just like, if some random guy comes to hit on you at the bar, like go to my YouTube and subscribe on his phone. You don't have to be like, yeah, I'll give you my number. Go on the YouTube, subscribe. There you go. Give him my subscription. Not your number. Okay, we're gonna end it there. Happy fucking Monday. I'll see you guys later.
Are you still talking? Girl, stop talking.